often do we use the phrase killing time? And what exactly do we mean by it? And then how does our brain register and use this negative phrase? Is it a healthy thing for us to even say? Welcome to the BDI Create Today podcast. This is a podcast where we uncover and discover the who, what, where, when, why, and how you can be creative or have more creativity. And together we'll explore the extraordinary impact creativity can have in your life, in heart, mind, body, and soul. And if we haven't met yet, I'm Beth Buffington, a licensed artist, digital illustration instructor, and a creative coach, living just outside of the Windy City, Chicago. But mostly, I'm someone who is curious about how creativity can weave its way into nearly everything in our lives. Each week, we are going to look at one or more of the sparkly facets that make up the ever-changing kaleidoscope that is creativity. Hello, my creative friend. I am so glad you are here today to join me for this episode of Create Today. Today, we are exploring the fascinating realm of how we consider time. Now, time is a resource that is limited, and yet at times it can seem endless. But we all know in our heart that time is something that is actually very precious. So get cozy and grab your favorite art supplies or crafty tools and get creative while we chat about creativity. Today, we're going to reflect on how time works for and sometimes against us in our creative pursuits. The reason we're looking at time today stems from a quick conversation I had recently while I was on my way into an event. Now, in the hallway to this appointment, I saw a friend, and we had our usual idle chit-chat that you have when you meet a friend that you haven't seen in a while. We said, hello, how are you? How's your day going? You know, that kind of chatter. And then my friend said something that she was going to do that made me stop and think, we all do this, but should we? And here's what she said. She said, I have a half an hour before my next meeting, so I'm killing time by joining you in your event before I go into my meeting. Now, this made perfect sense to me that she would pop into my event and listen in while she waited for her meeting to start. But here's what made me stop and think. How often do we use the phrase killing time? And what exactly do we mean by it? And then how does our brain register and use this negative phrase? Is it a healthy thing for us to even say? Have you ever said or thought to yourself, I'm just killing time? I know I have. It's a casual phrase that we throw around without much thought. So today we're going to take some time to consider this phrase, killing time. On this particular day, this was the first time the phrase, I'm just killing time, hit a chord with me. And it made me think how and why we kill time. And then, should we kill time? Is there a better way to think about this kind of extra or limbo time that seems like something that can be wasted or killed? I know this feeling of, oh dear, what am I going to do for the next however many minutes before my day can get productive again? And this kind of limbo time can happen between scheduled events during our day, or when something gets canceled or shifted in your schedule, or when you find yourself waiting for something or someone. Now, this is time that is often connected with something that is not expected or makes us feel annoyed or bored or sometimes even angry. So maybe a negative term like killing time feels like the best description for this type of time. But what would happen if we thought about this negative phrase, killing time, in a positive light instead of negative? It's all worthy of a good ponder today, don't you think? So first, I thought, I'm a little curious about where this phrase came from, killing time. Why do we even use it? It's actually a bit chilling when you stop to think on it. Now, I'm one of those people who moves caterpillars off the path when I'm walking the dog so that they won't get run over by a biker or a runner. I don't like to think of those poor little guys getting squished to death. So I'm not a big person on killing things, even caterpillars. So I did some thinking and a bit of research on this negative phrase, killing time. And here's what I discovered. Killing time, or having time to kill, originates from a phrase by a man named Dionysius Busikalts. It seems he was known as Dion to his friends and fans. With a name like Dionysius, which I think I am not even saying right, I can understand why he had that nickname. So Dion Boucicault was born in December of 1820 and died in September of 1890. He was an Irish actor and playwright and was famous for his melodramas. By the latter part of the 19th century, Boucicault had become known on both sides of the Atlantic as one of the most successful actor-playwrights in the English-speaking theater. Now, the phrase killing time originates from Dion's quote, "Men talk of killing time while time quietly kills them." So, yikes, that is truly a sobering thought. While we might think we are all in the driver's seat with time and we believe we will be the ones who decide when and if I have time to kill, that in reality, the opposite is true. Time is in control, and it is the one that is quietly killing us. So it reminds us that life is short. But on the bright side, life has the opportunity to be very beautiful. So, how should we process this quote? Men talk of killing time while time quietly kills them. I think I'm less inclined to want to ever actively allow myself to kill time after considering Dion's phrase. Yeah, do you agree? So let's consider the true value of the time we do have. Life now is not all weddings and baptisms and happy parties with dear friends. These are times when we're most likely to feel the blossoming goodness that time provides. But we also have stretches of time where we truly might feel the need to release that phrase, "I have time to kill." So I took a quick minute and I made a list of what these kinds of moments look like in my life, in my opinion. So, time where I feel like I have time to kill is layovers at airports, waiting in a carpool line to pick up kids, arriving too early for a party, arriving to a meeting or event and finding that it's been canceled, or the person that you are meeting is going to be substantially late, sitting in a doctor's waiting room with a stack of last year's golf magazine. And then I think of moments when I had better things to do, but my choices actually killed time. So here's another list of how my choices snuffed out what could have been valuable time. I've scrolled on my phone and missed taking Raspberry for a walk. I've got engrossed and fell into a rabbit hole from a link in an email and lost time on a project that I wanted to complete. I've watched television instead of reading. I've picked up my phone to call my folks or a friend and then somehow got sucked into checking social media and lost the window of time that I had to chat. So those are definitely moments when time feels in limbo, and or I personally killed time through some bad decisions. So time is a finite resource, and moments misused or not appreciated are moments we can't get back. So today I challenge you to think, have you or are you killing time? And are you a serial time killer? I have a feeling we all are on some days, right? I'm only chatting about this with you today because I can see this as an area where I can improve my life. So, how can we manage our time more creatively to make room for things we want to do or need to do, like our creative pursuits? What are we doing during the time we have to kill? Is there something tangible we could do to reverse this negative phrase? So, reverse, that's a good thought. When thinking negative, reverse the thought. So, what is the opposite of time to kill? Wouldn't that be time to live? What if we started thinking positively about this extra time or this time that we have to kill? Because negative thoughts make us concentrate on what is missing or what we don't or can't have. And that makes our glass feel half empty. So, what if instead of speaking negatively about how we use or misuse time, we gave time a positive spin? And positive thoughts make us concentrate on being appreciative about what we have, which is our glass is half full. And we can be in the driver's seat with how we spend our time. It's how we choose to use this extra time or that time we have to kill that makes it either time we've killed or time where we have lived. Interesting, right? How often during the time we are killing do we find ourselves mindlessly scrolling through social media or engaging in activities that don't really contribute to personal or creative growth? That would definitely be a focus on the negative instead of the positive. And as we've discussed here in Create Today, being a happier, more productive creative happens when we move from negative thoughts to positive thoughts. And back in episode 4, I shared a story about an old Cherokee Indian chief who was teaching his grandson about life. And he said, "A fight is going on inside me. It's a fight between two wolves. A wolf who is negative, filled with anger, regret, guilt, and resentment. And the second wolf," he said, "is positive, filled with joy and hope, kindness and empathy." The grandfather told the boy, "The same fight is going on inside you." And the grandson thought about the story for the moment, and then he asked, "Which wolf will win?" And the grandfather said, "The one you feed." Do negative thoughts, negative influences, and even negative phrases, killing time, feed that negative wolf? In order to give the positive wolf a chance to thrive, should we change our negative phrases and negative cultural buzzwords to something positive? Even subtle shifts like this can make a difference in our confidence and how we see and feel about the creativity around us and inside us. Now, let's take a valuable moment for our sponsor, and that's still me. But I have an exciting invitation for you. I know right now it feels like winter is going to last forever, but my friend, summer is on the way. And one thing you can do to prepare for an amazing summer is to make time for your creativity to really blossom and put it in the calendar. So this summer, come and create today with me. Come and join me at the Artist Rising Retreat Center in the beautiful Connecticut River Valley Inn. The dates are July 28th through August 1st. You're going to enjoy days of drawing at a beautiful all-inclusive retreat center that caters to creatives. And I will be guiding you on all these beautiful days through my creative process of taking photos of flowers, drawing and stylizing your beautiful flowers, and then making zenfully gorgeous flower mandalas, all in Procreate. This will be an amazing adventure for anyone interested in learning Procreate. And this will be a super fun way to discover the creative freedom that Procreate provides. Now, the Connecticut River Valley Inn is beautiful and will serve you amazing food and drink. And all you need to do is relax and be creative. So come and bring a friend or 2 or 3 and meet me in Connecticut this summer for some lovely sun-filled days. And we'll create today together. For registration and to gather more information, just go to www.artists-Beth-Buffington-2024. That's www.artistsrising.net/Beth-Buffington-2024. or just look to the show notes for the link. And you can also find the information on my Instagram page. Just search for Beth Buffington. I can't wait to create today with you this summer. Now, welcome back to our discussion about how we use time creatively. We've discovered that actually thinking positively about the extra time that suddenly appears in our day will help contribute to our overall creative happiness. So let's explore more about how to use this extra time to live a happier, more productive, creative life. Let's explore how we can better value the time we have and treasure these extra moments we used to label as time to kill. Instead of mindlessly letting these moments disappear slowly, here's a list of ways to mindfully embrace this extra time. Number 1, take your creativity with you. With Procreate on your iPad, you can take your painting and drawing with you everywhere. Anytime you even have just a few moments to kill, you can open up your iPad and work on a project. I truly enjoy drawing with Procreate in the airport or in the airplane. And I take my iPad to the dentist, to the doctor, or wherever I think I might be waiting for something or someone. Number 2, learn something new. Turn killing time into an opportunity for growth. Instead of doom scrolling on social media, listen to a podcast or read a book related to your creative interests. Number 3, connect with others. Use idle time to connect with fellow creatives. Engage in online communities like the Create Today community, or call a friend who you find inspiring and use this time to fill up your creative tank with friendly inspiration from your creative community. Number 4, mindful moments. Use those pockets of free time to practice mindfulness. Whether it's a few deep breaths or a short meditation session, these moments can rejuvenate your creativity. Number 5, an inspiration hunt. Consider carrying a notebook or use your phone to jot down creative ideas during downtime. Open up your creative eyes and look around you for inspiration. You never know when a seemingly wasted moment could spark your next big project. Number 6, let yourself get dirty. If you've been killing time routinely through social media or games such as Candy Crush or whatever the latest gamification app is, think about using this time to create something. Imagine putting your phone down to plant a garden and grow some tomatoes, or paint on that canvas that's waiting for you. Number 7, use your imagination. What other interesting uses can you think of for the time you've been killing recently? If you think of some fun ideas, share your thoughts with me. So, when we see a stretch of time that in the past we would think of as, I have time to kill, you now know it's possible to reverse that thought from having time to kill to having time to live. Enjoy these moments and look forward to them. The biggest step towards changing a negative phrase to a positive is really just realizing that you need to do it and then figuring out what to do with this stretch of time that we used to kill or waste. And then try as often as possible to fill those moments with creative possibilities. You know, those are those micro bursts of creativity that can actually be very powerful and productive. But my friend, give yourself patience to change this mindset. And well, this can take a bit of time. Remembering to be aware of the time we have to use daily and then recognizing when we have a stretch of time to fill, not kill. And then considering what might be needed to prepare or organize in order to better utilize time, that takes time. But my friend, it's time well spent. So work on how to plan and then use the time you used to kill. And I'm raising my hand here as someone who has often thought, oh, I wish I would have brought my iPad or my book or journal so I had something creative to do while I sit and wait. But because of lack of planning, here I am, and I only have a stack of last year's golf magazine to fill my time while I wait for the doctor or the dentist or whomever. So be prepared to actually practice planning for extra time. It takes some time to remember the things that will make your idle time positive and not negative. It's a lot like remembering to take reusable bags into stores. For me, there are many layers of remembering that need to be accomplished in order for me to be successful at using reusable bags properly. Number one, I have to have reusable bags. And number two, these bags need to be in my car. Number three, I need to remember to bring them into the store. Four, I need to remember to put them back into the car after I've brought them into the house to unpack whatever I purchased. And then five, I need to remember to take my reusable bags into every store. For some reason, I'm pretty good at remembering to bring the bags into grocery stores, but I am horribly forgetful when it comes to a Target run or going to the drugstore. So I'm still working on getting better at my reusable bags, but it's a process. So getting good habits put into place, that takes time. But celebrate yourself for the positivity that you've added to your life and keep working to make these new steps a habit. Finding ways to manage time more positively and finding value in those seemingly unproductive or used to be killable moments, we will discover we actually have extra time for creativity to flourish. And isn't that the goal? The secret to finding extra time that is creative is becoming aware that while time is fleeting and finite, we are still in control about how we decide to use our time. So these small moments of time might be micro moments, or it might be an hour or more of time. But when these stretches of time appear in your day, be prepared to fill the time with creativity instead of killing it, doing something like reading last year's golf magazine. Charles Darwin once said, "A man who dares to waste 1 hour of life has not discovered the value of life." So let's consider taking the phrase killing time out of our phrase book. Take a moment to reflect on your creative journey and the role time plays in shaping it. Can you find pockets of time that in the past you might have killed? And now you think, no, I'm going to look at it in a positive light and plan to fill future moments with microbursts of creativity. If you reinvent your outlook on time, share your stories with me. I love to hear stories as much as I like to share them. If you found inspiration in our discussion today, don't forget to subscribe and share the Create Today podcast with your friends, your family, and your neighbors. Thank you so much for sharing your precious time with me today. So keep creating and keep looking for those golden moments when you have time to create today. Until we meet again, stay creative, my friend. Oh, and here's one more note from me, your sponsor. Interested in exploring your creativity with Procreate on your iPad? Yes, you are. Get my free Kickstart video. It gives you a beautiful tour of how to use Procreate to create your own art. You'll get information about brush libraries, layer and layer options, explanations of the tool icons, and much, much more. Go to www.bdi-create.today/Kickstart to get my free Procreate Kickstart video.